So we're going to blow the Titanic whistles again. We're going to have a run around the arena just as the engines leave, is Billy Milne's steam car again. So we're going to get the steam car to do a trip round again. So this is a bit of an outlier on the field today. Steam cars, this particular one dates from 1910. It can put a fair turn of speed. It was built by the Stanley Steam Car Company in America. And you'll see here now, Billy will head round the arena. When you see these cars on the road, the only thing that really tells you that they're a steam car is the fact you have steam coming out the back end of them. So as I said earlier, this particular red car has got a steam boiler under the front, and then that generates the steam, and there's a twin cylinder engine underneath the back. And you'll see here now, Billy's going to give a demonstration of how fast it can run as he heads around the arena. So ladies and gents, I need a few children who wish to tug of war against the steamroller. Now, to put this into context, the steamroller weighs at least 12 tons, so I reckon we need at least 100 children. So, what we're going to do here is the big man there in the high vis is a virtual wall. Do not grab the rope beyond Jamie. And equally, do not grab the rope beyond the end, or else you won't be holding the rope. Now,
welcome back to Man from the Mist. For those of you new, my name's Barry. Today, first video on the lathe. Going to be a bit of an experiment for me as well, in terms of camera setup and lighting. We'll give you a look in a minute what we've done. The plan for today is, if you remember, this is our 7/8 whitworth lifting eye that screws into the bed of the lathe in order to lift it and move it around with. Right, so obviously when you remove this, it leaves a hole in the bed. That hole fills up with oil and swarf and crap, done it over the years, which is why the previous owner, Ken, didn't even know there was a lifting eye position in the bed there because it was level and full of crap. Plan today is I want to make a little grub, I want to make a 7/8 whitworth grub screw that'll fit in that hole and blank it off, but so we can get it out in the future. I can hear you saying, so why don't you just cut the bottom off that and use that and plug the hole? Well, I could, couldn't I? I've got a bit of inch stock bar here. I want to turn it down 7/8 outside diameter. We're then going to single point cut it. And then we'll cut it off the length. And then we'll put a big screwdriver slot across the top. So we can just screw it down into position. Doesn't need to be tight, just needs to block that hole, stop any rubbish going down there. As I say, big experiment for me as well today. Let's have a quick look at our setup, see what we've got. So we've set our lathe up here. We've got our inch stock bar in the chuck. This inch stock bar come from the bar that was left over from when we repaired that diff, you know, the inch shaft through the middle. Another little job we could do in it, make some bushes for them gears. Could do, couldn't we? Anyway, inch stock in the chuck here. I've got my 2 cameras set up here, hoping it's going to be good enough. I've rigged up a temporary light. I'm going to try it, some with the light, some without the light, so that in the edits we can see what it looks like. Because I say, since we've cluttered the walls in here, we have lost a lot of light from the lights that we had in. Can you remember last year, was it last year, the year before? When we put them final drives together in here, there was loads of light off these 4 lamps. Nothing's changed other than the rubbish on the wall. Might end up having to paint that wall white. In fact, I might end up painting the whole garage white to reflect as much light as we possibly can. Let's crack on with this. Get that turned down to 0.875 or thereabouts. And let's get set up for threading there. Right, got everything set up, everything switched on. I'm having problems with the GoPros already. Haven't even started yet. Having problems with the GoPros. Can I connect to the network to see what they're seeing? So we've only got to guess what they're seeing, other than what we can potentially see through the back. First thing we've got to do is get the outside, the OD. This is 0.865. 0.875 is 7/8, but 865's probably good enough. Undersized there. Okay, so we have got to lose 0.125. 0.125. Wow. Guys never turn with sandals on. Neat little trick here to see if your tool is on centre height or not. Take your rule. This is brilliant with high-speed steel cutting tools, but also works with tips, but be very gentle because you don't want to take the edge off the tip. Take your rule, insert it between the job and the tool. Bring your tool in very, very gently till it nips the rule. Go at the end of your lathe, look in. If your rule is standing vertical, happy days, you're on centre height. If it's leaning top towards you, it's below centre. If it's top away from you, it's above centre. As I say, be very careful. Don't go riving your tip in because you'll knock the tip. Okay, right, That should have took 40 thou off. Near enough. 965. So we'll take another one, just the same, 40 thou. Very happy with that surface finish. Good. Good, good, good. Right. Oh, just to check that again, that should be down to 920. 930. 930. We'll take another, roughly another 40 thou off there. Okay, 886. Eight, 10. Right, this should be good. Eight, 7, 2, 3 thou below. Not bad, eh? Not bad. Right, let's get it faced off. It's the only problem with this lathe, you've got to stop to change direction. Now, what I want to do is put a big chamfer on there, which is at least 80 thou. The depth of thread is, off the top of my head, 76 thou. Shavings all over, chips all over the shop. So, I want a chamfer on the bottom that is deeper than the thread, so it looks nice and tidy when we're finished. Let's crack on with that. Right, we've done a quick tool swap. Put the grooving tool in. I'm going to put a groove into the back of there. We can end our thread in. So a single point threading tool. It's a 16 ER G55, 55 degrees, because it's a whitworth thread. So at 55 degrees, we need the top slide set to 27, don't we? Ish. 25, 26, 27. Right. Tighten that up. Famous little Zeus books. Whitworth threads, 7/8, 9 TPI. So I need to set the gearbox up in here to cut 9 TPI. So, this is a bit that's it there, isn't it? 9 TPI. Needs to be C here and that in that slot there. C here. C here. What we've got on my apron here is an indexing dial. It has 4 numbered segments on it and 4 half segments, i.e. between the numbers. I very clearly identified on it. Let's have a quick look. So down here we've got our indexing dial, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in between we've got our half slots, which allows us to engage the lead screw at the same place every time. So, to cut an even number of thread on this lathe, you can engage the lead screw at any one of those marks as it passes the little button indicator on the indexing mechanism. If you want to cut an odd number like we do, you can only engage it on the numbered segments. And if you're cutting fractions of threads, so for instance 4 3/4 TPI, then you can only index it on the number 1. I haven't had a look at the metric side of it yet. Forget metric at the minute. Right. Let's touch on with this and see where we're at. Zero that dial so we know where we're at. Now, this is what they call the scratch pass. We're going to come along, scratch past it, check if we've got thread gauges, make sure we've got 9 TPI on it. That doesn't look like 9 TPI to me. Okay, let's have a look. 0.3 on 4. And what I'm doing, I've got my cross slide set to 0. I've got my top slide set to 27 degrees, and I'm doing my depth of cut on my top slide, on the compound slide, because I'll just get my gauges a minute, because it's the easiest way. It's not the easiest way, because if you advance the cutter in on an angle, it makes the front edge of the cutter cut as opposed to both edges. If you go straight in, you're cutting on both edges and there's quite a bit of force, and it's just a little lathe, isn't it? But this way, if you do it on half of the attack angle, then as you go in, it takes a much bigger cut on the front face and a tiny little one on the back face, and it just easier for the machine, nicer for the threads. Let's have a look. Perfect. That is now cutting 9 TPI. So let's carry on doing this. Wanting to start, but it's not quite. Back to where we were, 0. One more, let's have a go. There's a piece in the middle. Another tooth out. Yep, that's just a lump in the middle. That'll be fine. Right. that'll screw into there, block that hole up, but not go in too tight that we can't get it out again. All right, I think that's it for the first official job. I did make one little thumb screw for there that I needed, but I didn't record that, but I thought this would be more interesting, a little bit of screw cutting. So thanks very much for visiting, guys. As always, your time is greatly appreciated when you come visiting us, messing on with our lathes. Next job on this lathe is going to be making some springs for that tractor. I was up in Aberdeen at the weekend at I was up seeing Marshall, but there was a tractor show on at Castle Fraser, and there was a Davy Brown 880 there, and I got underneath it and got a photograph of the springs, the return springs on the brake pedals, because I think they're about £18 each in this country, in the UK, which is bloody ridiculous. So we're going to make some. I'm going to make a couple of little jigs and bits and bobs up, and we'll make them on the lathe. I'll show you how we're going to do that, and hopefully my next video might be a while because I've got all the jigs and everything to make for it, but we will get it done. Right guys, that's it. Thanks very much, but remember, don't overthink it. It's only nuts and bolts, and we'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da now.